I don't know. It's going all hurly-burly, and it's a fantastic day out there. I don't know what it is. Yes, hello, Chanel. How are you? Oh, sorry. Let me get up there and say hello. Yes. Okay, so back to it. Back to it. WNBA. Yes, the coach of the Los Angeles Sparks did not have the best of sentiments for the fact that Brittany Griner had been basically shunned by the public in that she only got 10,000 people in attendance at the game. So catching us back to YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're into the show about if the WNBA should sell out. So, it seems it never dawned on the Los Angeles Sparks sports a few truths. Number one, the WNBA is not exactly the best of sports product. Never has been, never will be, and we'll prove that later on in Talk Live. And how to improve the sport. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to offer some solutions to the WNBA in terms of improving their sport. Because Lord knows they need it. And we'll show you why. But, yeah, she never got that memo that, number one, the WNBA has never been a money-making venture, and rarely do they, if any, get any fans up to 15,000 to 20,000 in attendance. Actually, to be fair, I think one of the bigger attendances came from right here in the city when the WNBA came to town for an exhibition game. An actual WNBA game, because they're in season. For an actual WNBA game. And they sold out the Scotiabank Arena, so shout out to all those who did attend that day. It was, I heard, a massive success. And again, I think a few truths were allowed for that to happen, and that is heavily marketed. It was heavily marketed in this area, number one. And not only that, it was heavily marketed to the female quotient. It was heavily marketed to female fans. Not only older fans, but younger fans. And I think that is the secret to the WNBA making an amends here, because again, listen, we're not in just a sports business, we're in a sports entertainment business, as will be shown later on. And if the WNBA doesn't show a profit, not many people are going to bank on it as a viable option if they know they're going to lose money. And the WNBA has been in existence for, I would say, the last 29, 30 years. So to be well, you'll see in a minute where the WNBA lies. Well, you know what? Let's get to it right now, here on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Let me put my browser on. Here we go. And let's go. So, let's get started. Let's get started, people. Because I'm giving away the game, a little too much of the game, but that stops now. So, let's go to, yes, this video right here. Where, well, actually, yes, yeah, we can start here. And I started this journey on on a previous show on Talk Live regarding the wage gap between men and women, and how there is no wage gap, and it is only through men's choices of dangerous jobs, dirty jobs, construction jobs, and STEM jobs, and jobs that move society forward that brought that allowed for the wage gap to exist. So it's simply on women's choices within the workforce that allowed for this wage gap. So there's no such thing as paying men more for a certain for a job of certain value, because it's against the law. Equal pay laws are in effect in most parts of the world, and it's illegal to pay a man more than a woman. Sorry, it's true. So that started my journey on the WNBA, but here we are in this segment here, and this is the video that really got my interest on the WNBA. And then Madam Coach from the Sparks, I forget her name, I will get it in a minute. She had brought that back to my attention, so I decided to bring this video back just to let you know how well the WNBA are doing, because they're doing so well, and they deserve so much. As you hear from most of these players, they are quite delusional in their demands for more money, or as much money as their male counterparts in the NBA. They should be they say that they should be paid as much or just a little less than the average NBA player, which is not true because the NBA is a vehicle that has been making money hand over fist all over the world for decades. So the WNBA doesn't have that track record, so they can't expect to be paid as much as men. So basically they're asking for a handout. So it's like dating. Women expect more than they really should be allowed. Anyways, let's go into this.
Would be something that, we could just take a donation around the NBA, maybe one night y'all don't go to the casinos.
I have something on this, though, because it pisses me off.
The WNBA has been around since the late 90s, and it seems like the only time they're relevant is when a player gets thrown into a Russian prison or the women are demanding a raise. As someone who's been a fan of the NBA since I was 8 years old, I've never really cared or noticed the WNBA, and I know many of you watching can relate. In high school, my friends would always poke fun at how bad the WNBA was, and at the time, I didn't know anything about them since it was never on TV. But I'll never forget the first time I was exposed to the league. ESPN was doing an interview with a WNBA player. Her name's Brittany Griner. You may know her as the
one who's trapped in Russia right now. I forget her name. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That's right, yeah.
And we'll talk more about her later. Now, Griner is 6'10", and the interviewer asks her to throw down a dunk because it would be pretty cool to see a woman dunk on a 10-foot hoop. She goes up and misses her first attempt. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, everyone gets one. Before trying her second attempt, she makes sure to tie her laces, and after that dramatic build-up, she proceeds to miss again. Now in that moment, I'm thinking this has to be a skit, but nope, it's 100% real. Now don't get it twisted, she'd probably cook me one-on-one, there's no doubt about that, but really, this is what the best women's basketball league in America has to offer? If you Google WNBA dunks, you'll find a 2-minute compilation of every dunk that's occurred in the last 26 years. And spoiler alert, there's been less than 30. And only 8 players have been able to do it. If you Google WNBA highlights, the top search results are 10 minutes of WNBA fails. But you know what? Anyone can stitch a bunch of lowlights together and make something look bad. However, what truly convinced me that the WNBA is as bad as everyone says it is was this video that went viral this past summer. So just to give you some context, some WNBA team won a chip and decided to throw a parade expecting their fans to show up. And nobody showed. Not a single soul. Despite the fact nobody cares about the league.
Stop it right there. I just got a comment from Chanel. She's saying, my son-in-law, his father got all of his kids scholarships. Oh, that's good to know. That's very good of your, who's it now? My son-in-law's father. So, son-in-law's father. Okay, so he's your in-law, basically. So yes. Your in-law's, your in-law, your son-in-law's father. Yes, indeed, you're right. He's the one who got them all scholarships. Well, that is impressive, Chanel. Thank you very much for letting me know of that fact. And congratulations for that. But let's get back to it, people. What you just saw, if you are on my YouTube channel, but if you are not and you're on my Instagram, the WNBA, I think a WNBA champion, I think it was in Chicago, recently had a parade. That parade brought out 0 fans. 0. Nada. They were all too busy doing other things. So, you really can't be demanding of salaries if no one is coming even to a championship parade. To all my Toronto people here, do you remember when the Raptors won the title? Do you remember that? Do you remember how many people showed up to that championship parade? I think it was in the millions. I think you couldn't get around downtown that day. And that's for most NBA cities. If you took it for the last NBA championships in Milwaukee, in LA, in who won the chip recently there? Milwaukee, LA. Who won last year? Last year was Golden State. Yes, you couldn't move downtown, and the WNBA had their chance to do the same thing, and no one showed up. No one showed up. It was crazy, as Chanel said. You couldn't buy, beg, or steal for any sort of personal space. That's how busy it was. That's how busy it was. So, that's a strike against the WNBA because no one knows when anything happens because no one cares to know. Let's continue.
The players aren't better or even as good as the NBA, the women of the league keep coming up with more arguments why they should be paid better. So in this video, we are going to analyze and dismantle 3 of the best arguments that WNBA players have come up with on why they deserve to be paid more. So first and foremost, let's address the elephant in the room. Why is there a wage gap? Statistically speaking, between the 2 leagues, there is a major difference in fan attendance and viewership. The WNBA had 379,000 people tune in to watch during the 21-22 season. Compared to the NBA had 1.75 million viewers that same season across the same networks. More viewers equals more commercials, which equals more money. Last year, the WNBA generated $60 million in revenue, whereas their counterpart generated $10 billion through the same means of sales. Finally, there's also a difference in games played. Each team in the WNBA plays just 32 games a season plus playoffs, and in the NBA, teams play 82 games plus the playoffs. Less games equals less screen time equals less commercials, and less commercials equals less money. The more money the league generates, the more money it has to distribute among its players. That's why there's a wage gap. Despite people's assumption that the reason for the WNBA's lack of success is due to sexism, it couldn't be further from the truth.
There it is, people. The reason why the WNBA is unsuccessful is because, as he was saying, let's go back to it. Less games, less screen time, less commercials, less success. Simple economics. If you don't show enough games, if you don't play enough games, if you don't sell out enough games, if you don't get enough attendance for enough games, if you don't get enough revenues for enough games, you can't demand more money. Less money to spread around means you take what you get and what you're afforded. Simple as that. You have to live within your means. It's like, it's very similar to, well, it's like the dating scene, quite simply. Ladies just think that they should just appear and more should be available. That is not the case. As in the NBA went through some dark days during the 70s and 80s, where they had similar attendance to the WNBA. Very, very similar. And they had to grow their game over a matter of years. Same thing happens in the WNBA. They have to grow their game. They have to grow their game. Because, as was seen in revenues, $60 million was made in terms of revenues by the WNBA. I think it was $13 billion for the NBA. It's a more marketable product. It's a more marketable worldwide product. You cannot take that show on the road and not sell it out. You can go to Paris, you can go to London, you can go to Tokyo, you can go to Budapest, you can go to Sao Paulo, you can go to Tokyo. It'll sell out. That's the NBA. The WNBA now? Oh, they ain't testing that yet. No. They ain't testing that yet. Let's continue.
The WNBA is subsidized by the NBA because women wanted their own basketball league. And what happened? Barely any women show up to the games, and you know what's even more ironic? More men watch the WNBA than women.
I'm particularly frustrated that we've been unable to get young women, girls, to attend those games. It's interesting, women's basketball is largely supported just in terms of demographics by older men, for whatever reason, who like fundamental basketball.
Speaking of like the connotations of the WNBA, like and the
Stop that for a second. I want to make that perfectly clear. I don't know what happened
What
here.
is like your from a player?
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Thanks very much.
What is that opinion, and how do you guys handle all those conversations?
We are not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue.
Cheers.
Okay, so here's the deal. Before we get into that, I want you to take that demographic in and of itself. Chanel was saying Erica Joseph is in the WNBA. Yes, indeed, Erica Joseph. I would like to set up an app where male, female can find and pick up games. Absolutely. Oh, sorry, I knocked my microphone around. Sorry about that. Well, that'd be a good thing, Chanel. Yes, I'm interested in how you progress with that. Absolutely, and I wish you well in that endeavor. However, here's the deal. As was stated in there, that the largest demographic in attendance at WNBA games are men. Men. Middle-aged men. 45 to 60. That's the largest demographic of WNBA attendees. So you cannot say that the reason why the WNBA is unsuccessful is because of a sexist world, when the sex to which you bring your ire are the ones who attend your games. So let that silly argument rest. Let's continue.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Got it,
saying?
got it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge
Got
misconception.
it.
For
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, because every video is like, oh, this person gets paid this person gets paid that, right?
So I want to be really clear about that. Like, I don't think I actually get paid the same as LeBron.
Right.
But the percentage of revenue, like, for example, they sell my jersey in Mandalay Bay, I don't get a dime.
You don't get any money from jersey sales?
That's crazy. No way.
So that's
What?
why it's like, you
Image
know,
and likeness. Okay,
Exactly.
yeah, okay, that's
so like
bullshit.
that's the stuff we're talking
Sure,
about.
sure,
You know
sure,
what I'm
okay.
saying?
Now, on the surface, that makes
But here's the thing. Before it gets into that, now here's the thing. With regards to ladies not getting a good piece of their revenue share, the fact of the matter is, as was stated before, this is a losing proposition. Owners are losing money in the WNBA. They're losing money. This is a losing proposition. Once you walk into the WNBA, expect losses. Expect them. But here's the deal. Women want, the WNBA players want the owners to take a bigger hit so that they can earn more money. They want more revenue share. So instead of earning maybe, 40, 50% of revenue share, they want 60, 70. They want something comparable to what the NBA earns. But the fact of the matter is the NBA is a money-making venture. So for women to take a larger share, owners are going to take a bigger hit. And one thing that owners hate, one thing millionaires hate, is to lose money. And then be asked from their female employees to lose more money. No, they're asking you not only just to lose money, they want you to lose more money. Ask any business owner if they'll ever buy into a stake where they not only lose money, they want to lose more money because WNBA players want to feel good that they are playing basketball. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. They'll take losses, but they're not going to take huge losses to put smiles on WNBA basketball players. Sorry to hear that. Sad but true.
sense completely. So why doesn't the WNBA do that? Why should the men get paid more than the women? Is there misogyny and sexism going on in the organization? Well, the honest and simple answer is the WNBA can't afford to share revenue with its players. Remember how a moment ago I was just telling you how the WNBA generates just $60 million in revenue a year? Well, what I didn't tell you is on top of that, they lose $10 to $12 million a year, and that loss is covered by the NBA. What I also didn't tell you is that the WNBA has yet to turn a profit in the last 26 years they've been active. So if you're a business owner and you're losing money every single year and your employees are coming to you demanding for a raise, how do you expect to meet their demands? You literally can't. If you do, you'll need to cut spending, and for WNBA players, that likely means they'll have to pay for their own transportation to games and probably pay for their own trainers and recovery specialists, among many other expenses.
I've talked about this for so many years that it frustrates me so much because the WNBA, as a subsidiary of the NBA, and we see how much money is generated by that league. How do you guys feel about that when you see the astronomical numbers that the NBA players make versus the pay grade that happens in the WNBA.
A lot of women play 2 seasons, going over season to off season, playing and then playing in the WNBA as well. So you could argue that we have a longer season and put in, equal work.
Now, we'll dissect this argument into 2 separate parts. The first is the argument about having...
Before we go into that argument, let me say this. WNBA players should feel lucky that they're playing a sport that, no matter what, they'll get paid. Usually, if you're operating at a loss, people lose jobs. Luckily, the NBA is there to pick up the tab and to pay players a living wage of $50,000 minimum. And we'll see that later. But let's face facts. That $50,000 salary minimum for rookies and such, and it can go up to $100,000 for a lot of these higher paid players, and I think into the low to mid 6-figure salaries for the top players. It ain't going to change anytime soon. It won't. It just simply won't. Because the WNBA is losing money. The WNBA is a money-losing venture. Think of it like you're out on a date, ladies and gentlemen, and the bill comes, and you expect the man to pay. But the fact of the matter is, when the bill comes, you expect the man to pay. You still want more, even though you're getting a free service. You're getting paid. You're actually getting paid to go on the date. Imagine you're losing money being on the date, but yet you're getting paid to go on that date. That's a better analogy. Who would do that? The owners of the WNBA are. Because not only are they paying for the dinner, they're actually paying the person to come out with them. And they want more money. How you doing, Emil? They want more money. So that's good money after bad. That is adding insult to injury. And now they want more money. So basically, you're taking them on a date, you're paying for the date, you're paying the person to be on the date, and yet they want more money to be on that date. Does that make sense?
to get a second job.
WNBA star Brittany Griner convicted today on drug charges in Russia. A judge sentencing her to 9 years in a penal colony. Griner, detained in Russia for more than 5 months, found guilty of intentionally smuggling vape cartridges of hashish oil into the country.
Generally speaking, Russia isn't on anyone's top vacation destinations, especially right now with the war that's happening. However, the reason Griner was in the country was for the exact reason Diggins had just mentioned. People were saying that if the WNBA had just paid their players better, Griner wouldn't have had to go to Russia. So how little does the WNBA actually pay its players? Well, you may be surprised. The average contract for a WNBA player is $100,000 a year. And Brittany isn't even one of the poorest ones. She's one of the highest paid players in the league and is guaranteed to make $227,000 in 2023. These players are out here pretending they're making minimum wage, but in reality they're making just as much money as some doctors, nurses, lawyers, engineers, and programmers to play 32 games a year in front of a whopping 1,500 fans inside of an 18,000-seat arena for a league that's losing money. When you're making 6 figures at your job, getting a second one is essentially a choice. If anything, the league needs a second job since it's been losing money for the last 26 years. Now, to address her second point, which was they do just as much work as men, no you don't. Do you have to guard Giannis? Do you have to guard Joel Embiid? No, so you don't do the same work as a man. This isn't the first time a WNBA player has said something utterly delusional. A few years back, Griner said she could beat Boogie Cousins in a one-on-one.
I'm glad she's that confident in her ability. But she's also a little delusional. Like the confidence BG, but I don't know if that's going to happen. It's not a walk in the park over here. I got cuz on that one.
Not one NBA player believes she could beat DeMarcus one-on-one. But maybe that's because they've never seen her play. So whoever's filming decides to ask her coach what he thinks.
If there's no referee, I'm going to go to the ATM and I'm going to sell my house and I'm going to put all my money on DeMarcus Cousins.
Even her own coach knows she doesn't stand a chance. A problem I frequently keep seeing with the WNBA is their lack of open-mindedness on.
So, let's break that down again. It seems not only are WNBA players are high value, they're making high value money. They're making six-figure salaries. That's the average. They average about $101,000. Brittany Griner was earning about $220,000. That's good money. That is the top 1% of female earners out there. But they want more. They want more. From a venture that loses money. This is not a profit-making venture. Ladies, take that in again, please. To all those who are watching, ladies and gentlemen, the WNBA has not made money in about, I would say, in most, if not all of their years of existence. And all the players want to do is take in more of it. Make that make sense. And they're making good money. It's not as if they're making bad money. They're making, on average, $100,000 to $229,000. This is good money. And we're not even going to talk about the whole DeMarcus Cousins deal, you know. that lady, I even forgot her name. You're not taking out DeMarcus Cousins. I don't care how bad his knees are. You're not taking out DeMarcus Cousins. Neither of us. 99% of the world is not taking out DeMarcus Cousins, let alone her. Let's go.
Solutions for how they can drive revenue for their organization. In these next clips, watch how the players react when Shaq and T-Mac suggest that the WNBA should lower the rim so the fans can see more dunks.
I got a question. Why can't we lower the goal to at least 9.5 feet? Because I think for somebody that don't watch WNBA basketball, to have women dunking on other women would definitely bring more excitement to that game and have, you know, those guys that don't watch WNBA basketball tune in and you get more fans that way. What do you think about that?
I mean, my thought on it is, you know, I've been playing basketball on a 10-foot hoop my whole life. So to move it to 9.5, it's going to take a long time to get used to that. And then also, like, we're only playing basketball to dunk? Like, I'm not sure.
No, you playing to...
Like, you just want to see me dunk on somebody? Like, I don't know.
The skill level is off the charts in women's basketball.
Right.
But I think as far as bringing the entertainment...
Yeah, I understand that for sure.
That element, I think, you know, you're getting more fit.
They close off and respond with...
There you go. Tracy McGrady is right. And we're going to get into that a little deeper in a minute. The fact of the matter is... the WNBA product is not entertaining. Not in the slightest. It's not entertaining. As much marketing as they throw at it, as much stars as they try to drum up interest, it's not exciting brand of basketball. It's not something you want to sit 40 minutes as it is, as has been clarified to me tonight. It's a 40-minute game. Nobody wants to sit through that. Nobody wants to sit through a WNBA game. They don't. They don't. That's why you have the attendance figures they do. They average about 5,000 a game. In an 18,000-seat stadium. Yet they want more money. Only women can ask that question. Men realize that if you don't make money, you can't ask for more. But women? Come on, it's like the dating scene. You can always ask for more if you're a woman. Jesus, come on now. Come on. Come on. Push the envelope a bit. Anyway, but getting back to the argument they were saying, the NBA is all about entertainment. Selling its stars, selling its product. The fact of the matter is, the WNBA does not sell a good product. So, Tracy McGrady raised the idea of lowering the baskets so that ladies can dunk more, make it a more entertaining game. This lady says she's going to, in essence, going to ruin the purity of the game. The fact of the matter is, sports is an entertainment business. Sports is all about entertainment. If you're not selling entertainment, you're going to lose money. The NBA has an entertaining product. Most sports have entertaining products. That's why they can make profits the way they do. Male sports are entertaining, especially the NBA. Probably the most entertaining sport in North America, if not the world. That's why they make money. Shout out my man Kinetic. That's why they make money. And if you are not selling good product, nobody's coming to see you. They aren't. That's why they have as low attendances as they do. As much as they try to drum up interest in the game, nobody's showing up. But let's continue.
With defensiveness. Keep in mind, only 30 dunks have happened in the last 26 years.
10 years ago, the WNBA game was here.
Oh, this is classic.
NBA game is here. Now it's here. I have a way to make it equal. Just listen to me now. You ready?
All right.
We've heard it.
Yeah, we've.
So in beach volleyball, the women's net is maybe half an inch lower. You think if we just lower the rim so y'all could dunk like we dunk, that'll give y'all more oomph than you already have?
No.
I mean, because listen, y'all are doing the step back, the pull back. Y'all doing everything we're doing, but I don't see a lot of people going up with two hands and, back.
Oh, it's coming. Opportunity is a.
So you don't think if we just drop it to 9, 10
Nah.
and a half?
I guarantee
think, Flash?
Layla, she's into dance, but my next child will be drop step dunking. I promise.
If the WNBA
Drop step dunking. Are you kidding me? This woman is delusional, quite simply delusional. What can I say? What can I say? If she thinks that women are going to grow taller than men and dunk on a 10-foot basket, you're kidding yourselves. Evolution is not going to move that far so that your child can dunk on a 10-foot basket. It's not happening. The fact of the matter is, she's irked at the fact that women can't do the things that men can do. And that's the long and the short of it, people. What do you want? Do you want an entertaining game, or do you want to be equal to men? Because if you want to be equal to men, you're going to keep losing money. You're going to keep losing money. Lower the basket, and you'll get your way. But we're going to talk about it a little later.
isn't interested in making a better product to attract more fans, why should anyone be interested in what they have to offer?
You love basketball. You love the WNBA.
No, that's not how it works. That's like saying because I like coffee, I should like every brand of coffee, including the shitty instant kind. You can't force people to like something they don't like. As a business, it's your responsibility to appeal to your market. Now, based on everything we've talked about in this video, the question that remains is, will the WNBA shut down? Well, recently the league raised $75 million through investors, so hopefully this money can do some good for the league. We'll just have to see. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll talk.
Thank you very much to our contributor here, Culture Shift with Tristan Pena. The fact of the matter is he's right. He's right. Yeah, you don't create a great product, they ain't coming to see you. They ain't coming to see you. And to it, we have this video right here from, yes, here we go. Yes, can feminists name a WNBA team? Yes. If women, and this is the thing, if women want more equal pay for WNBA players, do they know WNBA players? Let's find out. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live, live on IG, YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go.
Get paid more, get more recognition. What do you guys think?
For sure, like, we deserve equality, so definitely should.
On topic of women's sports, can you name any WNBA teams?
Women's sports just like don't get as much publicity or as much attention as men's sports.
What's the WNBA team that plays here in New York?
Oh, I have no idea.
I mean, women deserve equal pay. They do equal amounts of work.
Can you name any WNBA players?
No, I can't. I don't like sports a lot. Yeah, I don't know.
But I think you could probably name some NBA players, right?
I could. and I think that's because it's a lot more publicized.
Who's your favorite men's basketball player? Do you have a favorite basketball?
Stephen Curry.
Stephen Curry. Okay. Do you have a favorite women's basketball player?
I forgot her name.
So do you think we should apply that to the NBA and the WNBA?
It's getting embarrassing, people. From a gender that wants equal pay for their fellow female members, they don't even remember a WNBA player. They can remember NBA players off the bat. When it comes to WNBA players now,
they're both playing the same sport. Women are equal to men, so I don't see why not.
Can you name any WNBA teams or WNBA players?
The New York Liberties. That's right. Yeah. That's about as far as I'm gonna go with WNBA.
Can you name at least like any players, any WNBA players?
Damn, and I know one off the top of the head. It's not gonna come off.
You don't need any WNBA players?
No, I really don't. I mean, like, I know their faces, but I'm terrible with names.
What about you? Can you name any of them?
I could either. I'm just as bad. I have terrible memory. So.
What about the WNBA team that plays here? You know, are you guys New Yorkers?
I am a New Yorker, but I didn't even know.
And the Liberty plays.
That is stunning when you don't even know you have a WNBA team in your city. Yet women want more money. There's a secret to this, and that is women do not market enough of their game to their female members. If women want to see an increase in the WNBA attendance, they need to market it more to their female counterparts. It is an absolute shame when you think that your biggest audience are men.
NYC, right? Yeah.
So, can you name 5 more teams?
Oh, I don't know.
Favorite men's basketball player?
I think Shaq is really funny.
Who's your favorite women's basketball player?
Someone on the Utah's women's basketball team. We're from Connecticut.
So you guys can name one NBA player, I'm guessing, right? You guys can do that.
Name an NBA player, yeah.
Can either you name a WNBA player?
No, I cannot name a WNBA player. I can name women's soccer players.
Give us a few women's soccer players then.
What's her name? Oh, Rapinoe. Hope something. That's about it.
One who's trapped in Russia.
Notice that the ladies stayed silent during that part of the telecast. If you're watching on Talk Live on YouTube, which is live on YouTube, let me see what the YouTube comments are saying right now. Let's get there just right quick. Okay. Well, this thing is actually working, thank goodness, anyways. But let's go back and continue.
Right now, I forgot her name. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That's right, yeah. I'm going to give you her first name, and let's see if you can get the last name. Ready? Britney
Spears.
Not a basketball player, but good try. Who's like a famous basketball player that you know, a men's basketball player?
I mean, all I can think of is Michael Jordan, to be honest.
But the hard question is, can you name a women's basketball player?
No, I actually can't.
What do you think about that argument that people say women's sport?
Before we go there and listen to this man, we must listen to this man's answer. Please listen, ladies and gentlemen, to this man's answer. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening to it live on Instagram, listen to this man's answer. He solved the problem altogether.
Sports should get paid the same as men's. Do you think that makes sense?
When women get to the point where they can attract as many fans and they actually deserve the same income, then the argument can be made. But I've seen that argument across like all sports, and I don't really think it's fair. But, yeah.
In other words, when women start getting a handle of supply and demand, when they start attending games, when they start selling out stadiums, when they start demanding attention, when they start deserving those marketing dollars, then you'll see salaries go up. Simple as that. Thank you to Man vs. Street on that one. And it's a shame that in today's day and age that women cannot I repeat, cannot remember don't even know who a WNBA player is. Now without provocation. Do you know a WNBA player? Mention it to me in the comments. If you know an actual WNBA player, one that's already been mentioned tonight, I wonder if you remember him or her. I wonder. But I'm sure you know who was the star player of the Miami Heat last night. But I'll leave that to you to leave it for me in the comments. But let's talk about solutions. So we've gone through the issues, gone through the troubles that the WNBA are having, and the reason why the WNBA should sell out. They shouldn't sell out. Actually, let's go there. Let's get back to that comment that the what's it now? There we go. Yes, the one that yes. Wait a second here. The one comment that I didn't have is the one that I need to have now. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. You know what? We're going to get it here. Okay, so we're going to get into that one comment that the WNBA coach has made. Well, we'll see it in a minute. But you can't demand that people come out and sell out a huge stadium knowing that your product's not good enough to be sold. You can't do it. So let's work on solutions. Let's get down these solutions. And we're talking about too lazy to hoop, and it was a very funny post that he was giving here. Like, subscribe to my man Too Lazy to Hoop, and he gives a funny take on what should be done in order to allow for the WNBA to make more revenues, and in turn pass it on to their prime employees, and that is their basketball players. Let's go.
Not good. The WNBA ratings, not good. The WNBA salaries, not good.
It's not looking good. Let's be honest for a second. It's not working. The WNBA is not working. And, like many people have mentioned before, there seems to be a quick fire fix for this issue. However, we already know the response from WNBA players to this suggestion. Let's go ahead and hear one.
You mentioned before about the differences between the NBA and the WNBA. You said we don't play above the rim, not doing all that kind of stuff. Well, there is a thought out there that perhaps the rim should be lowered, not by a lot, not by 5 feet, but maybe half a foot. Is that something you'd be in favor of?
No.
Work with me! This no to lowering the rims is a pretty commonly held belief among WNBA players. In fact, some of them even say things like this when the conversation arises.
The conversation about changing the rim is to placate someone that is looking for a reason, probably not to support the women that play.
I know a lot of people who might watch this video may poo-poo this concern from WNBA players, but I think it's a valid concern, especially when, YouTube videos with millions of views openly state this in their videos.
Now, the majority of my subscribers are NBA fans, and I would say the majority of those people do not watch the WNBA.
And this is exactly why I decided I needed to make a video on the WNBA lowering the rims, because I think a lot of WNBA players find it easy to brush off these videos when it's clear they're made by non-WNBA fans or by people who may have no interest in the WNBA.
The WNBA sucks.
And although I might be outing myself here, I am a fan of women's basketball. I am a fan of the WNBA, which really shouldn't come as that big of a surprise, especially when Adam Silver gives a perfect breakdown of who the fans of the WNBA actually are.
Women's basketball is largely supported.
And we know they're supported by older men. Let's continue.
For whatever reason.
I can't do it anymore. Shit, man. To be blunt, I just can't put up with the lies. Because they're lies. They're lies disguised as arguments. And I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I quit! We gotta address them. We gotta address and refute these lies or most common arguments against adjusting the rim in the WNBA once and for all. Honestly, everyone should also say goodbye. Goodbye, WNBA, once and for all. Unless... Hold up. Unless they can be honest. Be honest and say you're less entertaining than the NBA, but you don't care. You don't care because it's bigger than entertainment to you. It's about sticking to your moral code. I could respect that, and I would still watch.
He needs some milk.
But I would only respect it and watch if you understood and accepted the realities of sticking to such a code while working in the entertainment industry. Because right now I'm not getting that vibe at all. And I can't do it. It's breaking me. Anyway. Let's get into the arguments. Okay, so the first lie we have to tackle is that the rims can't be lowered because lowering the rims would have a radical effect on WNBA players' shooting ability because they have always played on a 10-foot hoop. Here's a clip of future WNBA Hall of Famer Breanna Stewart telling NBA Hall of Famer T-Mac this exact line when the conversations of adjusting the rims was brought up.
I mean, my thought on it is, I've been playing basketball on a 10-foot hoop my whole life. So to move it to 9.5, it's going to take a long time to get used to that.
All right, real quick. Let's hear from one more professional, Brianna Green from the Harlem Globetrotters. And importantly, take note of the reply back to her.
I'm like, how am I I've been shooting on a 10-foot hoop all my life. Like,
you go to LA Fitness, and the rim is 9'8". That rim is 9'8", 9'10".
True,
like,
true.
It's already smaller than 10 feet, and then, we still adjust to it, even though it's just a few inches.
So we're going to measure 4 LA Fitness rims.
We're going to fast forward this a little bit.
Okay, to someone who knows nothing about basketball, finding out the rims aren't actually 10 feet in most cases at your local gym or at outdoor parks might be surprising. But to anyone can adjust their shot pretty easily, but you can't? Nah, man, that's not true. That's a lie.
So, the one way that the WNBA can get off on it on a good foot is to lower the rims. Get more dunks. Allow for more positive play. Allow for more exciting play. And why not? Why truly not? Because they are upset at the fact that they can't dunk on 10-inch rims. You get, what's it now? What's her face again? Candace Parker. You get the likes of Candace Parker being severely touched, severely upset at the fact that she can't dunk, and she'll give birth to a child that dunks. Even though throughout history, women don't usually grow up that tall. I don't see evolution turning women into giants over the next 40 to 50 years? Guys, we want an entertaining product for you. Yes, we are rooting for you here. We are rooting for you. And the best way to do that is to create a product that is entertaining. And part of that entertainment means lowering the rim, getting out of your feelings, and playing basketball. Playing ball. But can they do it? No, they can't.
And I know it's not true because y'all told me that you played outside all the time.
I spent a lot of time outside playing basketball, like at the park or at whatever court it was.
And tell us, how did these outdoor courts with rims that were definitely different heights affect your game? It didn't, because both of you transitioned amazingly into college and professional basketball. So don't lie. Don't lie by saying adjusting your shot to a rim a few inches shorter is impossible, because it's not. It happens literally every time someone plays on a rim outside or at a local gym. Let's keep going, because I'm pretty sure if you're playing outside, you're probably playing with a men's basketball, right?
I can say for myself and the rest of the WNBA players, we grew up playing actually with the NBA basketball. I didn't know there was a difference in the size of the ball until I started playing organized basketball.
Hold up. And you were able to adjust, no problem, to a new basketball that was slightly a different size. Just how you will be able to adjust to a rim that is slightly a different height. Okay? Let's move on. All right, so the next argument we have to address deals with infrastructure.
Before we go there, I think it's a pride thing that ladies do not wish to lower the baskets for themselves. They think that they can, dunk and do all the things men can do at their height. No, you can't. It's okay, though. That's fine. What we're trying to do here is create a product that you can take not only into your stadiums, not only throughout North America, but around the world. And part of that means being a little more entertaining in your outlook, in how it is packaged. And part of that means lowering the rim, getting more dunks available, getting a more exciting standard of play so people will want to come watch. And not just because of novelty, just because we're lady, you should come watch us. No, we shouldn't. That's why you've been losing money for the last 26 years.
And access, and is usually seen as the finishing argument in the rim debate.
And from the most basic level of, if you think about changing the height of the rim, can you imagine how much less access women growing up playing ball would have?
No, I can't imagine it. Because it literally makes no sense.
Stupid people.
The plea is for the WNBA to adjust the rims for entertainment and marketing purposes only.
What?
Why the rim rule change would have to be implemented universally at the college, high school, middle school, elementary school, even international level boggles my mind. Because there are tons of rules more important to the game that are not implemented at a top-down basis like that. For instance, the vast majority of states don't even have shot clock rules. And that's something that actually radically affects the game. So, to buy into this infrastructure and access argument, one has to accept the lie that playing on a rim that's not the exact height you would at the professional level would ruin or seriously affect your game. Which we know is not true. Let's move on to the next argument, which centers around
not your average fans, people that don't watch WNBA basketball.
And the point made by WNBA players is that even if the rim is lowered, these casual fans that don't watch still won't tune in.
Should the WNBA lower the rims to bring in more fans?
No, it's not going to bring in more fans. Stupid.
You think if we just lower the rim so y'all could dunk like we dunk, that'll give y'all more oomph than you already have?
No.
Help me help you.
Okay, this is what I mean about the lies, because, come on, this is an insane claim. Because by saying that casual...
We would continuously hope for the delusion. They continually think that they can play on a 10-foot rim. No, you can't. Ladies, no, you can't. And it's not meant to be condescending. It's not meant to be sexist. You just can't. Evolution doesn't allow you to. Because if it did, you'd have a better product to sell to the public at large. But you don't. The reason being, because you refuse, you and Candice Parker and Odin Wingate and all these ladies all say to themselves, and who's that one there? That was, oh shoot, I forget her name. Anyway, she does that Instagram stuff, and she she poses in bathing suits just to get a rep. All right, so we are out of here. I'll continue here on Talk Live. I don't understand. God damn it! Come back to us. Come back to us. Unbelievable. But we are going to be back here on Talk Live on Instagram. Please come back to us. Unbelievable. But such is life in the big city. Yes, indeed. All right. And we're back. And we're back live on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining us on the second hour of things here. And yes, Instagram having its rules and regulations. Well, they don't like for second hours, but I'm still going on second hour. So thank you very much for coming back to me on Talk Live. Let us continue with this subject. And the fact is that if evolution's not allowing you to play to play at a certain level, play at another. It's not a big deal. It's not a slight against you. What you want? What is it? Do you want? You want to, adhere to the purity of the game, to appear equal to men, because that's what it comes down to. I think it comes down to the fact that women want to play the same men's game and feel that they could do it as good as the men. They can't. They can't. Come to a mea culpa. You have to have a come to Jesus moment and realize you got to put your standards, your pride aside, and come back to the fact that you need to put a better product out there. And if you do, then you'll profit. But if you're not going to sell out. And you're going to get days like you did with Brittany Griner. Let's continue.
Fans won't watch if women are dunking. To me, it's insinuating that casual NBA fans don't find it exciting when NBA players dunk, block dunks, get dunked on, have putback dunks, or go up for dunks and switch to layups midair, which everyone knows is obviously not true, because that is entertaining.
He needs some milk.
However, hold up. I'm not saying that I want to see WNBA players dunk every possession. Nobody wants that. I would watch slam ball if I wanted that. Because honestly, a dunk too often oversaturates the dunk and desensitizes people to it, therefore taking away the excitement of it.
Boring.
Unfortunately, the same thing goes for shooting. If everyone just shoots, it's not exciting because it's just normal. And this is exactly the conundrum the WNBA finds itself in. Y'all got the skill, the shooters, the Tarasis, the Bird, the Ogumbawales, but it's all the same. There needs to be some sort of balance for entertainment purposes. So let's lower the rims to 9.5 feet. This would immediately allow about 183 WNBA players out of 498 to dunk, okay? That's about a third of the league. A third of the league can now throw down exciting dunks, which in turn allows the Ogumbawales of the world to stand out and to be more entertaining, not just normal. Wake up! Ultimately, in
essence, you'll have more of an NBA game. That's what it comes down to. And you'll have the chance at earning NBA profits. There it is. Long and the short of it. You'll earn NBA profits by playing an NBA-style game that combines dunks with skill, with shooting, with passing, everything. Because you're only limiting yourself by being a shooter's league. By being, in my estimation, the layup league. I call it the layup league. And I don't care to watch. But if they're dunking, maybe I will. It's like women's tennis. It's very similar to the man's game. Yes, it may move at a slower pace, but it's very similar to a man's game, and people sell out stadiums in order to watch a Serena Williams et al. Just saying. Trying to help you out here, ladies.
There's never been any evidence provided that lowering the rims would not increase viewership. Why?
What?
Why? Because that claim is not true. And even WNBA players realize this, and they know their game, as currently constructed, is inherently different and less entertaining than the NBA because the above-the-rim action is absent from the game.
Big facts.
Okay, now let's all, for a moment, and listen to
1, 2, 3, 4
WNBA players talk about how the women's game is inherently different.
I believe we match as far as how we just play differently. What it takes for our process of winning, that's just what we do with our skill development.
Say, oh, this will fix it, and I'm still probably not going to support it because I still prefer something else instead of appreciating what it is inherently.
As far as bringing the entertainment,
Yeah, I understand that for sure.
that element, I think,
But now I have to relearn the game to appease people who don't want to watch it for what it is.
And what is it exactly? Well, as we just heard, it is an inherently different game that is lacking in entertainment for the casual fan. This is an undeniable fact. The numbers simply don't lie. To reiterate, I enjoy women's basketball, I watch women's basketball, and I respect the game. I just can't do it anymore. I can't listen to WNBA players continually say that their game is different from the NBA, but then point to the NBA and compare things like revenue splits, salaries, and opportunities, and claim you should have similar things coming your way.
We're asking you to get paid the same percentage of revenue.
So again, like I said before, if you're not giving us an entertaining product, nobody wants to watch it. And I don't. Guys don't listen. As much as guys are the highest are the biggest, attendees of WNBA basketball, most guys don't care for it. Most ladies don't care for it. Most ladies don't. You saw on Talk Live. Most ladies don't even know who an WNBA player is. They can't name one. And the WNBA has been in existence for the last 30 years. So to all those feminists who think, oh, well, it's sexist that the WNBA is not regarded as such. Women don't want to go to the games. Men go to the games.
Shared.
The loser.
I can and do respect your game for what it is.
What it is.
But that respect doesn't make your game entertaining or a good business. Shit, I respect beer pong players that compete at the highest levels because that also takes a tremendous amount of skill. But again, that doesn't mean these players have some godly right to be paid millions of dollars.
Show me the money.
Because the money and opportunities only come in the entertainment business.
This is a business issue.
Yeah. If the public finds it entertaining. And there seems to be some confusion among WNBA players that they are in the basketball.
Stop that right there. And you can see this quote on Talk Live on YouTube right now. Let me repeat it. The WNBA, or any sport, is a business first, an entertainment vehicle second, and a sport dead last. Let me repeat that. The WNBA, or any other sport, is a business, first of all, an entertainment vehicle second, and a sport dead last. Unless you can make money in that business, number one, you can't be so demanding. Number two, you can't be so demanding in terms of salaries being an employee of that business, of that league. And number two, if you can't do that and you don't adhere to certain changes, I mean, men are trying to help you out. Shaq tried to help you out. Tracy McGrady tried to help you out. Lower the basket, make it more of an exciting prospect for people to watch, and you'll see attendance grow. But no, women want to be equal to men and stick to the purity of the game and blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. And it's proving not to work. It's a bad idea. It's been proven over the years it's a bad idea. And so you can see the WNBA being akin to a stay-at-home wife. She may have certain skills to get out of the house, but she can't. Those skills aren't sellable, number one. And number two, she'd rather ask her man for more money than make a change and make it for herself.
Business and not the entertainment business. So, the WNBA must accept that this is about entertainment first and basketball second. Strangely, the situation kind of reminds me of the late great comedian Patrice O'Neal. I know his fans might hear this and have some pushback, but just hear me out. Patrice was a comedian who realized the comedy business wasn't actually about comedy.
I got in this business because I was a funny kid. Mm-hmm. And then I found out what comedy was, and it ain't funny.
It was about business. However, Patrice was unwilling to compromise his moral principles to fit into such an industry. And because of his aspiration to stay true to himself, he never reached the heights he could have.
I'm going to just do what I do, which is why motherfuckers don't know me from a goddamn... You heard the claps. Roseanne, whoa! 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 We should be wooing.
But, unlike the WNBA currently, Patrice was honest with himself and others about this fact and accepted it. This honesty and acceptance actually helped turn him into a cult icon. So WNBA, I say to you, stop lying. Stop lying about why you won't lower the rim and just be honest. It isn't about not being able to adjust your shot or that it won't bring in more fans or infrastructure issues. It's about sticking to your moral code, which for y'all is that lowering the rims would be a major step back for women in sports and women in basketball. You know, and if people don't like that, fuck them. Fuck them. Because I actually disagree with that, but if you came out and said that, I'd respect the honesty and I'd still watch. But critically, there also needs to be an acceptance of the realities that accompany being that honest while working in the entertainment business. Meaning, you gotta accept that.
Guys, before I go on, I was just looking at some of these WNBA highlights, and to be fair and frank, it is an absolute damn squib. It really is that bad. Like, women are watching opponents. Certain basketball players are watching other opponents walk towards the rim and dunk. When you know if that were men, there'd be some sort of full court press, there'd be some sort of foul, there'd be some sort of charge taken, there'd be some sort of defense. There is no defense in the WNBA, from what I can see. And as you can see by this chart, the level of interest in the WNBA is lower among females. Females tend to be not fans of their own gender's product than men are. You have more casual fans in the WNBA that are men in the WNBA. You have more avid fans who are men in the WNBA. And you have less non-fans who are men in the WNBA. Where everything trends to the opposite. Women tend to be more non-fans, less casual fans, and less non-fan, and less fanatics or avid fans in the WNBA. You can see the chart right here on Talk Live on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment, or on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Sponsored by Duntalk. DUNTALK.com. Spring summer line out now.
That your popularity, your salaries, and opportunities are never going to reach the heights they could if the rims were lowered and the entertainment flourished. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Don't forget to like it.
Yes, indeed. So until we're gonna let it go right here. Well, let me see if I can get that WNBA head coach just quickly to my attention here. Hopefully they are back now. You know what? This is acting silly, so let's go from this perspective. I have one in the holster already. And just a second, don't want any dead air here. Anyway, no, you know what? Let's just, yeah. There we go. Lost and... Right, I think we have it here. There we go. Here we go. Yes. Yes, I know it's Black Conservative Movement daily, weekly. I'm not exactly a fan, but we need to just get this quote right here. Right quick. There you go.
WNBA games are sellouts is because nobody cares, right?
Nobody cares. You're right. Nobody does care.
Literally used
Let me see
Brittany
here.
Griner's situation to virtue success.
Here we go.
Was great, but like honestly, come on now, LA. We didn't sell out the arena for BG. Nigga just said, like, I expect more. You know, to be honest, right? It was great. It was loud, but how is it not a sellout? How is it not a sellout? All right, so let's watch it.
I mean, it was great, but like honestly, come on, LA. Like we didn't sell out the arena for BG. Like I expected more. You know, to be honest, right? Like it was great. It was loud, but how was it not a sellout?
How is it indeed not a sellout? How is it indeed not a sellout that a WNBA team did not sell out any arena when it is pretty much a going concern for the last 25 years of the league? Ladies basketball doesn't sell out. Doesn't. And until it changes its ways, it won't sell out. It simply won't. So in answer to my question tonight, should the WNBA sell out? No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't sell out. Simply put, you don't deserve to sell out. Until you change your game, until you change your marketing strategy, until you address the elephant in the room that is your basket height, you won't sell out. You won't sell out. But I'll leave it to Brittany Griner to finish up here. Candace Parker. Let her have her final comments on this, and we can continue.
No, I think your example of Dr. Buss is incredible, because if you look at it back during those times when he made that investment and took that chance, they were losing money at that time. And so I think everyone's argument is always going to be, but you're losing money. But if you get an owner, and I've been outspoken about Mark Davis before with the Raiders, and I'll give credit where credit is due. I'm always just give my opinion and tell the truth. It's not really biased. It is what it is. I think what Mark Davis has done and is doing with the Aces, like I have the utmost respect for it, because he's investing. He's investing into the product. And so, let's face it, in any business that you start, you lose money to start. That's any business. It doesn't matter
what you do. It doesn't matter.
Any business.
Yes.
You're going to lose money at the inception. There's no way around it. If you are someone out there that can start a business and not lose money at the start, contact me. I got some money for you to start a business. But you're going to lose money. And so everyone's argument is always, but you're losing money, so how can you ask for this? And what you're saying is, be willing to invest the money and know that it will be a loss ultimately to grow the product where it can't go. And so you may need new owners.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Why would any businessman go into business to lose money? No, seriously. That's what Draymond Green and Candace Parker are asking the owners or prospective owners of the NBA to do. Go in it to lose money. No owner in their right mind would even think about that. But such as the ideas of the NBA, right? WNBA is, it's female delusion on steroids. It's for all to see that they deserve as much money as men do, that they deserve more pay than men do, and they deserve owners who like to lose money in their sport. It doesn't make sense. No businessman in his right mind would listen to such logic. I'm sorry, Draymond, but you've never been a businessman. You've never been in a situation where you're walking in literally and saying, you know what, I'm going to take losses for the next how many years. Why would anybody want to walk into a product that has been losing money since its inception for the last 30 years? That doesn't make sense. You must want this man to just, or any owner, man, woman, child, anyone, to just go in and say, here, take my money, flush it down that toilet. Take a risk on a venture that doesn't make money. It doesn't make sense. And so, let us leave it there because I thought it was something else that they were speaking of, but they're totally delusional in that fact. So let's get back to the big screen and let's end the show right here. The fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, does the WNBA deserve to sell out? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't deserve to sell out because it hasn't been showing the... It hasn't been given the wherewithal. It hasn't been bringing in the revenues to sell out. It hasn't. It hasn't. Again, its biggest fans are middle-aged males. It's been losing money hand over fist. It's been only making it's been dwindling in revenues over time, over years. They have been dependent on the WNBA for women. Quite simply, the WNBA is the the sports embodiment of an entitled, delusional lady. They expect the world and everything in it just for showing up. And that's not going to do it. That's not going to cut it. So, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live tonight. We're going to end it there. It is hoped that the ladies do get it together, that they do come to a consensus that they must make drastic changes, like lowering the basket, like marketing the females, like making tickets half price or as low a price as possible to bring in new products for women to maybe free salaries so that half price tickets can be made available and they can go out and make a profit at the end of the day, and other ideas that may come to pass that will definitely serve the NBA well. But the biggest one is indeed the lowering of the basket, because you need to have a better entertaining product. Because as the caption said earlier, it is a business first and entertainment. It is paid entertainment second, and third, it's a sport. And once you have those ideas, then yes, then you can indeed ask for more salary, ask for more raises. But again, the WNBA basketball players are acting like delusional women all over again. But it is hoped that they can get their act together and then we can move forward and get them in the black rather than in the red. Literally. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And we're going to sign off from here. And we're going to say good night from Toronto. And we'll be back Thursday night with a new topic, a new show. Thank you very much for joining me. And we'll talk soon. Peace. And to my people here on YouTube, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We're going to get out of here. But know that we'll be back on Thursday night with a new topic. And yeah, it is hoped that you can join me here on Talk Live. And all the best to you for in the coming days. I'm going to be heading back to work. But thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on this segment of the WNBA. Should it sell out? It shouldn't. It certainly shouldn't. Until they show a balance sheet that says they should, then they should. But other than that, they have a lot to learn, especially about marketing and business and entertainment. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk